Hello friends, so we're making a 1-point perspective room. And the cool thing is we get to kind of add our own little details to each of this in order to make it. Now we're gonna start with the very, very basics in order for us to kind of get forward. Now I usually use a ruler while doing this just so I can have straight lines, and then I can also make sure everything's okay. I don't have a ruler in front of me, so we're just gonna kind of go with the flow, as we say. And I'm gonna make a box, first of all. And this box can be like a little rectangle. And this is going to be the back of the room that we see, okay? So this is the back of the room. And now we're gonna be pretending like we're on the other side of the room. Now, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have these lines that attach to each of these boxes. And these lines are gonna make it look like this box is far away from us, right? So we have this kind of box far away from us. Now I'm just gonna pretend that this is where my paper ends. And look at that. So already we created depth because we created a box at the end of this kind of room, right? Now this is where you guys really do need your ruler, because this is gonna tell you where to go. So I'm gonna put a dot in the middle, and this is where all of my things are gonna draw from. Now, this is gonna be things on the wall, like doors, pictures, that kind of stuff, including beds. Beds are gonna be a part of this too, as well as any furniture. Now, any furniture pushed to this wall is going to be flat. Everything else though needs to have this dot. So I'm gonna use just a pencil as my ruler in order to kind of draw from there. Now I'm going to kind of follow this ruler or this pencil, and I'm going to draw a very faint line in order to show me, all right, now if I want this to be the door, that the top of the door has to follow this pencil here. Okay, now look at that. That means that everything that is going down is going to be straight, right? So if I want to have a door, it has to be straight. So look at that. So we have the beginning of our door here, and then it goes to the top of the door here. Now if I wanted to add any other straight lines on the sides, they're going to go straight. So if you have any straight lines, that's because they are parallel to the paper. So straight lines will go straight here, it'll be here, straight here, and at the bottom as well. All right. Everything else though has to use the dot, which is our point of perspective, in order to follow it. So let's say I wanted to make a picture over on this side. So I'm gonna use my ruler and my pencil, right? And I'm yet again gonna draw that little tiny light line. And if I'm gonna make the top, I also have to make the bottom, okay? And I'm gonna yet again draw that tiny light line. And now I have to think, all right, it has to go straight now. So I'm gonna use the side, because these are the ones that are straight, in order to draw that. Right? Now, let's say I wanted to make the picture frame, okay? Everything that's straight is gonna be like that, right? However, I do still have to use that point of perspective line, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna draw from there. Everything though, right, this point of perspective line, we get to erase. So in the middle, look at that. Everything still gets there and it looks real, right? Look at how everything kind of goes towards the middle. That's what we're looking for. Everything going toward the middle. So let's just start practicing that. You're just practicing to make a room with a door and a picture. Now if you want to swap the picture to be on this side and the door to be on that side, that's totally fine. But this is just the practice part, all right? This is a harder one to do, but I think you guys can handle it. So I'm excited to see what you make. Bye, my friends. All right, friends, we practiced that a few days, and now we're going to go ahead and we're gonna add more things to this room, okay? We're still using our ruler, and we still have that point up for our point that everything's gonna be going into. So if I wanna make a bed, right, I can make a bed that's right here in front, or I can have it be pushed up to the wall, or I can have it be pushed up to the side. I'm gonna show you a couple different ways. Now, if I want it to be here, I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to draw just kind of a little triangle actually. And that's going to show me that, let's say my character or the person who's looking at this is in the bed, right? So I would have to draw the bed kind of like a trapezoid in order to show it, right? Because the sides of the bed are going to be bigger than in the middle, right? So I can pretend that there is like a little pillow here. I can draw that there is like their little bed sheets, right? And then I can erase all of the lines from there. And look at that, right? But because our character is kind of on the bed, we don't have to draw like the legs or anything to it, right? Now, what if it was on the back wall, right? So I can draw just like a regular square, right? And I can have everything be flat because it's on our back wall, okay? Now, you will have to draw, like if there's little legs here, right? In order to have the bed still standing, right? Now, what if it was on the side? This is probably gonna be the hardest, right? So I'm going to use my pencil yet again, and I'm going to draw my little faint line going that way, and then also going, oops. That's the problem. You gotta make sure you hold your pencil down really hard, or your ruler down, okay? And this is where I'm gonna start drawing it, right? So I'm going to go down with my pencil mark, right? But now here's the thing. I have to think about this. If it's pushed up against here, that means that some of it is going to go like this because we're trying to make it 3D, like a box, right? So that's gonna go that way. And then I can still draw my little area where it's gonna be laying. I can still draw the bed sheets, and I can still draw my little pillow there. Is it gonna be a little bit weird? Yeah, but that's kind of how it goes when it's on the side. But you can have your bed be on the back wall, in the center, or on the side. If you want a challenge, I would say go to the back, to the side. If you want it to be simple, I would go to the back wall. If you want it to be in the middle, go ahead and keep it there. Remember, everything in the middle or on the back wall is easy, right? It's gonna be flat. So if you have like a window here, it's gonna all be flat, okay? And 2D, but if we're trying to make it 3D, we gotta keep on having those other lines. And that's what we're doing today. I hope you guys have fun with this. This is a little harder of a thing, but I think you guys can handle it. All right, and I hope that you guys are having fun. Bye, friends. All right, so now we're gonna kick it up a notch, and we're going to add some things to the ceiling and to the floor. So I'm yet again gonna use my pencil or my ruler. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you two different ways. I'm gonna draw one that's a checkerboard kind of theme and one that is a line kind of thing. So these are just gonna be my stripes, right? So I'm gonna be using my pencil and I'm just going along and I'm following from one end to the other with that. Now the cool thing about the stripes, right, is that we get to keep all of these lines and then we just erase the ones in the middle, right? Because we still have to have our awesome window in our back, right? Now, let's say that we have a cool checkerboard, okay? So I'm gonna flip this around because it's gonna be a little easier for you guys to see. All right, so yet again, same thing. I'm gonna use my pencil and I'm lightly just drawing. And if there's a bed there, we still have to go, kind of go all the way to the bed, right? So I have all of those lines there. And yet again, I'm gonna erase. And I'm gonna erase that middle area where my back wall is. And now, this is where the lines for the checkerboard come in, okay? So I am going to go straight across because remember, if it's parallel to the paper, it's straight. So I'm going straight across, right? And straight across. And do you see how we already have a checkerboard kind of forming? So this is where we kind of add all our fun details. So do you see how it kind of looks like the checkerboard is going inwards and how the stripes are kind of going inwards as well. And that's it. So this is where we're just going to make sure that all of those lines in the back are erased now. You know, all of those things before. If we had our bed on the back, making sure that we can still see it, right? Making sure that everything looks normal, right? Any details in the window, so maybe we have this tree in the window, maybe some of clouds there too, right? If I want to add like a frame here, we still have to go and make sure that it's equal there, so I'm gonna follow that, right? And still have it be straight there. All right, and look at that. So I have already done all of my little drawings here. I can have even like a little cat here too. And that'll be fun too. And that's it for today. So we're just making sure we have all of our little drawings, all of the little things that you have here, okay? And this is gonna be the fun part, making all the details. I know that it might be hard because you have to use a different part of your brain, but I really do think you guys got it. And that's it for today. Hope you guys have fun with this. Bye. All right, so this might take a while, but this is the coloring part. We're gonna be using markers. And remember, with markers, we still have to have craftsmanship. We still have to make sure that we color it in fully, okay? And the idea is that we really make sure that every little detail is colored in. Now, the one thing I will say is that with checkerboards or stripes, having it repeat or go from one to the other makes the checkerboard stand out, right? So if I go check right there, I can make another check right there. And do you see how I can make a pattern out of my checkerboard in order to make it kind of stand out, right? And that is really the fun part about this. I really do think that you guys will really enjoy making this and coloring this, just because in the end, these are gonna look super cool. And I think that you guys will be really proud of what you make in the end if you put in all that effort, right? And I'm excited to see what you all make. I think that you guys are gonna have some really fun time with this. And in the end, I had mine look like this. Make sure you have no white spaces. I really am excited to see what you have. Having all the details is really what makes it fun too, and your own. And I hope to see you all soon. Bye, friends.